Hey, what's up? This is Joe with Great Duck Properties, and today we're going to talk about something that it's been ringing in my ears. I'm hearing it from all kinds of people, and that is, are we in a bubble? Well, I'm here to give you the information so you can make the decision for yourself with all of the info. So let's get into this. So, in 2007 and 2008, which we all definitely remember when the housing market absolutely tanked, why did that happen? Well, it was due to bad lending. Anybody could get a mortgage at that time. People that were unemployed were buying homes. You could show up to a lender with a business card and you would likely get approved to buy a home. If you guys have ever seen the movie The Big Short, it talks all about it. It is a fantastic movie, and it is really good to explain what took place during that time with all of the bad lending and all of the bad mortgage practices that were taking place at that time. So, that is something that is very different than what is going on right now. There is a lot more checks and balances in place. If you have bought a home over the last 5 years, you know how much info and how much, income verification and bank statements and, work history and all of that you have to provide in order to buy a home. They're not just giving mortgages away to anybody. Another very interesting fact with that is in 2007 and 2008, the average home buyer, their credit score was 640. Today, the average credit score for a home buyer is 740. That is 100 points higher. And that means that the people that are supposed to be buying homes are buying homes. The people that actually have jobs are buying homes. The people that are financially qualified are the ones that are buying homes right now. So we're not setting ourselves up for another 2007, 2008 right now. That to me is something that's very, very important. And another big factor of what we're seeing right now with the right people buying homes, the people that do have good income, is we're seeing a lot more cash. And when I say cash, I don't mean duffel bags at closing. I basically mean that people are putting larger and larger percents down on the home. And I've dealt with more cash buyers in the past year than I ever have in my career. But in 2007 and 2008, the average homeowner in the United States had 20% equity in their home. Today, it's 40%. And, I think that number is probably even creeped up a little bit more now, just as we're going through this summer because home prices are on the rise. We started this year as the median sale price for single-family homes here in the Twin Cities at $315,000, and we are now up to $375,000. So if you bought a home at the median sale price, the beginning of the summer at $315,000, you already have $60,000 in equity in that home. That is absolutely crazy, and it's something like we have never seen before, and could definitely lead a lot of people to think we're in a bubble. But when we have more people with more equity in their home, even if something terrible were to happen and, home prices did go down, there's that cushion there that people are still in a good spot where even if they sold their home, they could walk away from that home with something in their pocket and not have to come out of pocket, do a short sale or anything like that. So we're in a much better position right now financially than we have ever been before in today's housing market. So why are we in the current situation that we're in right now with the housing market? Well, one of the big things, it's a supply and demand issue. And when I talk about supply, in the United States, from the 1950s going forward, every single decade, we've built on average about 23 million homes per decade. So in 2007, 2008, when the market crashed last time, there was a lot of builders that essentially got out of building and never came back. So from 2010 to 2019, you know how many homes we built in the United States over that decade? 5.8 million. That means we are down 15 to 20 million homes over where we should be at for new construction homes. We literally cannot build ourselves out of this. If every single builder out there started building homes at 3 times the pace that they are right now, it would take a minimum of 5, 6, 7 years for us to get to a point that actually is getting us to more of a stable, balanced market with where we need to be for new construction homes. A lot of people out there that would typically buy a new construction home are going and buying buying a previously owned home at this point. So it is a big supply and demand issue. NAR, the National Association of Realtors, actually just came out and said that we are in a housing crisis. Our population is growing very, very quickly, and we are not building homes quick enough to keep up with the demand for home buyers. So that is something that is a bit alarming, basically, and we need more homes. I mean, millennials are now basically one of our biggest generation, and now millennials are getting older. Millennials, a lot of them are skipping that phase of buying a condo or renting an apartment with friends. A lot of them were financially stable that they are going out and actually buying a home instead of taking some of those steps of a condo, a townhome, or renting for X number of years, and then when they form a family, buying a home. This is all happening a lot quicker and is definitely another cause to the supply issue that we're seeing. The demand that we're seeing right now. The past 3 to 6 months have been absolutely crazy in the housing market. I mean, it's been wild what has taken place out there. And I do feel that a lot of that demand is really due to COVID. We went through a worldwide pandemic here that nobody is ever going to forget. This is something that's going to be in the back of people's minds for a very, very long time. And during the height of all of this, we were stuck at home. And your home now became your movie theater. It became your office. It became your gym. The idea of what a home is has changed for so many. There's so many people that are not going to be going back into the office, that they are now working from home. That is going to start to change a little bit here. We've seen a lot more people actually going back into their offices, but a lot of those are even saying, hey, come in 3 days a week. But that is something that it is going to be in the back of people's minds for a very, very long time. So the idea of what a home is has changed dramatically for many people. And there was so many people that said, you know what, we just can't do this in our current living situation. I can't raise my kids and have my home office in the living room as they're trying to do school from home and all of this, because we never know what's going to happen in the future. Something else could take place, and there could be a new flu that happens, bird flu, whatever, the swine flu. There's been multiple ones of these, and then there was the COVID virus. I mean, there's been all kinds of different stuff that has happened in the past, and it's now just come more to the forefront. And it is something that has really changed the way people are looking at their home. So it's a big demand issue, and people are wanting to make sure that their home is something that they really truly love and a place that they feel safe and have their freedoms to not wear a mask if they don't want to. Is this a bubble? Well, it feels like a bubble. When median sale price in the Twin Cities here goes from $315,000 to $375,000 in a span of 6 months, a $10,000 increase every single month, that feels like a bubble. But it doesn't really smell like a bubble to me. This is something that it's not the same lending practices. It's a supply and demand issue. It is low inventory of new construction. It is low inventory just across the board. It is something that, we cannot predict the future without a doubt. But with lending practices being what they are, with interest rates being low and making it easy and attainable for a lot of homeowners to buy a home, sell their home, and buy up to something bigger. And then let's also get into the fact of many more people are understanding the value of home ownership in the sense of keeping a home as an investment property. Rather than selling off their home and letting that home be part of the current inventory, they are keeping it, buying a new home, using the equity from that other home to buy the new home, and keeping it as an investment property. More and more people are doing that. 30, 40 years ago, owning a second home was not something that most people had. Now, today, it's kind of commonplace. I mean, how many people do you know that own a second home? A lot. And what's going to happen here in the next 20 years? Is owning a third home going to be something that a lot of people have, where they have maybe their personal home, they have their investment property, and they have their cabin, or a couple investment properties, or however it may work? Things are changing. The world is changing very much. So, are we in a bubble? Personally, I don't think so, but that is the information that I have for you. You make the decision on your own. if you have any questions about this, I'm happy to answer those. Thank you guys for sticking around for it and listening to me ramble on about what I think is going on in the housing market, this whole bubble situation. But thanks so much. If you found this valuable, share it with someone else. I appreciate you sticking around.